it'll just be different food choices. And other things are going to happen, like for celebrations. This is sort of a controversial thing because in some of the schools now they won't be able to have, people won't be able to bake cupcakes in and bring them in for their child's birthdays anymore.
So the fundraisers to raise money for different...
Fundraisers, you won't be able to do it now. And some and this is another one that's often controversial. Some teachers used to give out like Tootsie Rolls or Jolly Ranchers for right answers, in the classroom.
What about on a student's birthday when they want to bring in a birthday cake?
Well, they're not...
Are there exceptions?
Well, they're making different plans. Like one school is actually going to have, in an elementary school, if it's their birthday, they get to wear a special little crown and they get to go in front of line to the cafeteria and they get to have a special dessert at the cafeteria. So they get to be honored in that way, instead of having the parents or someone bring in cupcakes or a cake or something like that.
So it'll be a special dessert.
It'll be a special dessert.
No sugar dessert.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be no sugar.
Yeah,
it could be still healthy and have some sugar in it. However, they won't be able to bring it into the classroom. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, you have food allergies. Food allergies are a big thing right now. And you don't know if somebody brings something in, what it has in it. And you have to really think about that. One child could be allergic to whatever's in there.
But I'm sure they could be allergic to healthy foods as well.
They could.
So.
They could. Hopefully we know from their charts what they're allergic to and what they're not.
Right. That's
yeah.
very true. Is anybody against this? Do I see anybody against this? I see one against this over here. Okay, I'm coming. Okay. Stand up. Don't be nervous. Stand up. Okay, why are you against this?
Because I think people should be able to make their own choices.
Nancy?
Well, that's true. And they're not in school 24 hours a day. So they can make their own choices when they're out of school and eat out how they want. One of the things that's an interesting thing, because people are talking about cultural foods and how certain cultural foods may not be considered healthy to the federal nutrition guidelines. However,
so it's okay if they bring their own foods, they just can't.
Right. If you're purchasing
buy it out of
something,
vending
yes,
machine.
if you're purchasing
Okay.
something that the school district is offering, it's going to meet those federal guidelines.
Okay. And who thinks this is just a great idea to help the kids eat healthier?
On.
Okay.
Jennifer,
Come on up. Stand up. So, why do you think this is such a good idea to enforce the wellness policy?
Well, our new generation of children, they need something better to look forward to, and it begins with the seeing, the tasting, and the touching, and they want to be touched with education, but the people of this program also want to touch them physically with healthier food. A lot of our Americans are obese, and it begins at childhood. And at childhood, that's when we learn how to make those changes that will help us in the future, and helping them with these different food groups. When they grow up, they will be healthy.
So you think this is something the schools should get involved with, or should that be someone's personal choice?
I would say that's a 50-50 chance right there.
It's kind of a gray area.
Yeah, it is kind of a gray area, but yet I think it's a very good idea. I wish it had happened when I was a kid.
Okay. How you doing? This is Brian Wright right here.
Yes,
How you doing?
I have a question. Is there any anticipated revolt or negative reaction to this by either the schools, the parents, the students, the teachers? You talked about teachers using candy as a reward. And before you answer, I'd just like to say that I think it's really good from the standpoint of, I remember when I was a driver, seatbelts weren't the big thing. And the person who got me to use my seatbelt all the time was my youngest son, who wouldn't let me drive without it. So I'm hoping this is something that eventually, I know it's just at the beginning, but eventually that kids will come home and be able to tell their parents to start eating more healthier and things like that. So hopefully that's something that'll come out of it.
So you sound like you're for it then.
Yeah. But I just want to know about the anticipated, what are some of the anticipated reactions to this? Negative.
When these wellness policies went to the boards of educations to be approved, there was a lot of opposition to a number of issues. One, some of the board members felt that it was unfair to tell teachers what they could give out and what they couldn't give out, and that was really up to them to be able to run their classrooms how they wanted. So that might be something that's going to take some transition time, adjusting to new rewards for that type of thing. There's also the fact that some people felt that you were taking away from parents, because this is the way parents were involved with the school. And so now we have to find and figure out better ways for
And
parents
that's a
to
good
be
question
involved.
also. Is this a parent's choice as
Right,
well?
Right.
So,
And then we've heard a lot of students say, yuck, we're not eating that stuff. That's wheat pizza cardboard. So, you know, but I have to say, in all the school districts that have done it across the country, they have found within 2 years great improvement in their health,
so there are
in their academic
statistics for
scores,
this.
in their in Wisconsin, there was one school that used to have about 30 referrals a week right after lunch due to behavior issues. And then they started serving healthier foods at lunch, low sugar, all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff. And they had only one per day after that. I mean, that's a huge
So it's
behavioral
about
issue.
excess.
So, yeah.
Excess.
And they,
you know,
and
the
they
amount you eat probably.
And the amount of
But
sugar.
what about the person who wants to have a soda once in a while? You know, that person who wants to, should they have to bring it in?
They can have it at home.
They can, not at school, right?
They can have it someplace else, right? Have some good juice, you know, water, you know, that's good for you.